Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. Judge Ricke's Fun Friday continues. If you happen to miss yesterday's Mr. Sun's Out, Guns Out, there's a link in the description. But today, this lady should be sitting next to a Sallyport boy, but she gone. Why? Because there's prison on the table, of course. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
State of Kansas versus Leslie Aaron Hudson. It's case number 2023 CR 18. James Watts appears as defense counsel. Ms. Hudson on her own Zoom. Amber Norris on behalf of the state. Ms. Hudson, it's generally the policy of the court to require all persons on this docket to be actually appearing at the Judicial Center in El Dorado. You weren't told at your first appearance on this that you needed to be at the Judicial Center?
No, sir.
The original sentence in this case was for a conviction of possession of methamphetamine, a level 5 drug felony, with the defendant receiving a 13-month DOC sentence, 18 months community corrections probation. We have had a prior warrant to show cause hearing. It does appear. The docket notes from March 14 indicate that the court at that time ordered a 3-day sanction, ordered the defendant specifically to complete treatment. And now I have before me a new warrant to show cause, which alleges a number of ostensibly new violations. The defendant apparently was arrested in the state of Oklahoma and did not notify the officer of that law enforcement contact or arrest. The defendant was in, according to the Oklahoma probable cause affidavit, the defendant was in Newkirk, Oklahoma, and she didn't have permission to be in Oklahoma, and that the defendant at that time was in possession of methamphetamine, fentanyl, and marijuana. Also, the allegations are that she never got back into Senate Bill 123, intensive outpatient treatment, after being reinstated on probation back in March. And that the time of her arrest was outside of her 11 o'clock p.m. curfew. Those are the current allegations before the court. This time, Mr. Watts, what announcement is made?
Your Honor, as to the allegations, she would acknowledge that on March 26, she was taken into custody in Oklahoma. She did not notify her probation officer of that at the earliest possible date. She would likewise stipulate that she was in Oklahoma, obviously, on that date, and was not in area she had a travel permit to be. She obviously will not stipulate she was in possession of anything at that time. I would note that at the time of this warrant to show cause filing on April 8, she was not back in Senate Bill 123 treatment. I am told by my client that she is now back in that treatment program, but she wasn't at that time. And she will likewise stipulate, and finally, that it was 1:15 in the morning, past the 11 o'clock curfew, at the time of her arrest in Oklahoma.
All right. Ms. Hudson?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on the announcements of your attorney, it's the court's understanding that you now wish to waive your due process hearing where the state would have the obligation of proving these allegations by a preponderance of the evidence. You can challenge the state's evidence, confront their witnesses unless good cause was shown, present your own evidence at such a hearing. And I'll also inform you that among other lesser remedies, the court could, finding a violation of the terms and conditions of your community corrections probation, do an outright revocation of your probation and order you to serve the remaining balance of your sentence locked up in prison. Do you understand these things?
Yes.
Okay. So do you now waive a hearing in this case and stipulate and agree that you committed the violations of not reporting your Oklahoma law enforcement contact, being without a travel permit in the state of Oklahoma, not being in treatment at the time this affidavit was filed, and essentially being out after your curfew. Ms.
Yes,
Hudson?
I didn't think about that at the time.
Right.
I was just trying to go in there to help my dad, and I wasn't thinking about anything else.
All right. The court does note the defense's reservations about admitting the drug possession, which is alleged in the affidavit. Is the state still pursuing that allegation?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Court finds that the defendant has waived her right to a hearing as to the other allegations, stipulates and agrees that she committed the violations as alleged in those other four. Court finds that these are substantial and material violations of the terms and conditions of probation in this case. Ms. Hudson, where are you at currently?
I'm in Winfield with my dad.
Okay, you previously on your bond had listed an address in El Dorado. How come you're not there?
And I didn't know I was supposed to be there on Zoom. He was fixing my truck, and I stayed the night with him.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last sentence. Would you repeat that, please?
He was fixing my truck, and I stayed the night with him, so I just went ahead and did my Zoom over here.
Okay. I trust that you have a ride that you can get here.
Yes.
Okay, well, I want you to head this way. And I want you to come to the Butler County Judicial Center in El Dorado before the court announces its disposition. So my calculation is that you should be here in an hour. So if you get in the truck right now and head this way, we should be able to take up your case at about 3:45. Ms. Hudson, I don't think I need to tell you what the court's view is going to be if you don't show up when the court tells you to. You should have been here for the start of this hearing. If you weren't told that by the first appearance judge, you should have been. I'm not comfortable about proceeding to disposition on this case until you are available here in this locality. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to recess this proceeding, and we're going to take up your case probably about as soon as court security reports to my office that you are in the building and that you're ready to participate. Okay?
Okay.
Anything else about
Yes,
that,
sir.
Ms. Hudson?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can go ahead and release you from the Zoom meeting at this time. You need to get in your vehicle and get to the Butler County Judicial Center in El Dorado, Kansas, as soon as you can.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We'll move on to another matter on the docket at this time. All right. Mr. Watson, I think you have one other case on this docket. Alex Curry.
Judge, I do. Alex Curry. I've also just got a message from Joe asking me to assist him. He's stuck in another hearing for a.
All right. Has court security heard from Ms. Hudson yet?
I have not, Your Honor.
Okay. We're going to leave this meeting open. I'm anticipating that she should be joining us within the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll just resume the docket at that time.
Yes,
And
sir.
if you want to pause recording and broadcasting, that's certainly appropriate. I'll leave that to you. We will be taking State of Kansas versus Leslie Aaron Hudson. It's case number 2023 CR 18. Mr. Watts and Ms. Norris appearing as before. However, the court will note that Leslie Hudson had appeared by remote Zoom today as part of this probation review docket. She did waive her hearing in this case and stipulated and agreed that she committed a number of violations in this case. The court postponed disposition until Ms. Hudson could appear at the Butler County Judicial Center in El Dorado, Kansas. Ms. Hudson represented to the court that at the time of the Zoom portion of this hearing, she was located in Winfield, Kansas, and did apparently have some means of transportation available to her. Court had ordered her to immediately head this way and get to the Judicial Center so that we could complete her hearing. In the view of the court, it should not have taken her more than an hour to get here. It's been more like an hour and a half. It appears to the court that Ms. Hudson is not going to appear and face her disposition while in the local area of the Butler County Judicial Center. Therefore, at this time, the court will find that in regards to the court's order made earlier, that this defendant has denied it. She's defied it. And therefore, the court will order bond forfeiture and a bench warrant issue for Leslie Hudson arrest, with her to be held on a no bond hold until her probation hearing can be completed by this court.
Your Honor, I should note, I heard from Ms. Hudson approximately 20 minutes ago, just before 4 o'clock. I'll be perfectly blunt. I kind of gave her the sharp end of the stick at that point. She had at that point not yet left Winfield because she was waiting on her father to come back from the store.
Waiting on her father to come back from the store.
That's as she put it. Yes, Your Honor. And that was her transportation. I kind of had the same reaction you did. You should have been here by now.
Well,
Your
Counsel,
Honor.
I can't hold all these people indefinitely. I'm just going to order that if she shows up, she's taken into custody pursuant to the court's order, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'll make out a jail card if she shows up in the meantime, saying that you issued that no bond hold, so that way the jail will take her until they can get the proper warrant sent to them.
Thank you. I do appreciate your assistance and cooperation in that regard. Thank you all for your patience here this afternoon in waiting for her to show up. And at this time, I'm going to order that this meeting be ended for all at this juncture.